Pennsylvania for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you for yielding, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Wenstrup and Ranking Member Ruz, for holding this hearing today. And thank you to our panels of witnesses for appearing on this critical topic. In the early days of the coronavirus pandemic, grievous and critical errors made by public health officials in New York, New Jersey, and in Pennsylvania, my home state, had disastrous consequences for our seniors. And it's clear now that those whose duty was to protect our most vulnerable and high-risk individuals failed and fell short of the oath to first do no harm.
You guys remember Governor Cuomo sending people with COVID-19 to nursing homes? The most at-risk people on earth to COVID, and he was sending infected people to nursing homes, while all the while being lauded by the liberal media as being some savior. You see how that turned out.
On March 13th, 2020, CMS issued guidance for nursing homes and long-term care facilities intending to serve as a blueprint for individual states to best prevent and control COVID-19 outbreaks in nursing homes. This was not a directive for nursing homes to unsafely accept COVID-positive patients back into the nursing home. Furthermore, CMS Administrator Seema Verma said that under, quote, no circumstances should a hospital discharge a patient to a nursing home that is not prepared to take care of those patients' needs. Yet only 3 days later, the Pennsylvania Department of Health issued guidance mandating that nursing homes accept patients even after they had tested positive for COVID-19.
Wow. Jeez.
Must-admit nursing home orders willfully and deliberately disregarded CDC and CMS guidance. Now, Admiral Rachel Levine, then Pennsylvania Secretary of Health, moved her own mother out of a personal care home as patients with COVID-19 were being moved in, a decision that ultimately led to more infections and more deaths among our state's seniors, while shielding her own family, which was a luxury that was not afforded to many Pennsylvanians.
You guys know what he's saying right there. So Rachel Levine, who's the trans admiral, whatever now, was the head of public health in Pennsylvania and issued this mandate, right, that you have to bring people with COVID-19 into nursing homes while pulling their own mother out of a nursing home because they knew how dangerous it was. Think about that. It's no different than Gavin Newsom locking everybody down and then going to a nice swanky dinner at the French Laundry while not wearing masks, right? It's no different than Gretchen Witmer locking everyone down in her state and imposing all these tyrannical controls on her people while going out and having fun on the lake. I believe her husband boating when everybody's supposed to be locked down. And you see this over and over and over again. AOC griping about Ron DeSantis and how awful he is down in Florida, yet she fled her home state of New York to go down to Florida for vacation because it was opened up. So much contradictory behavior by these people, and this one especially is egregious. I mean, think about it. Even my 6-year-old, if I told her, old people are the most susceptible to get hurt by this disease, do you think we should send people with this disease to a place where there are a lot of old people? She would say no. Yet that's exactly what these people did.
These disastrous public health policies led to insurmountable amount of pain and grieving for families who lost loved ones. My office received calls from constituents who were refused the chance to visit dying spouses, parents, and grandparents.
Yeah.
Yet this committee has been stonewalled by requests for more information regarding these must-admit orders. It's time to have accountability. It's time to have accountability for failures and cover-ups that led to thousands of needless deaths. Dr. Grabowski, given the guidance issued at that time in March of 2020 by CMS, was there a good rationale for the must-accept orders issued in Pennsylvania and in other states?
As I said earlier, that policy was a mistake.
I agree. It was an incredibly lethal mistake that was made.
The only way you make a, quote, mistake like that, which wasn't a mistake, right? People made the decision to do that, is if you want to cause harm. I refuse to accept that these people are that incompetent. I spoke out about this at the time. Many people spoke out about this at the time. I was censored on social media for it. Again, everybody lauded Cuomo as being the savior of the world, and he even wrote a book about it while he was sending senior citizens to their deaths. And now they're going to say that it was a mistake, and they'll probably even try this whole, oh, the science changed, and as things changed, we learned. Oh, yeah, well, the entire population, those of us speaking out against this stuff, we could tell it was a disaster when it happened. Anybody with basic biology knowledge could tell it's a disaster. Anybody who knows that you shouldn't send sick people to a population that's very susceptible knows, right? This stuff is so frustrating, guys.
Mrs. Is, I understand your group has members from Pennsylvania as well.
We do.
Can you please describe the end result of these orders and the impact that they had in my home state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
Regardless of the state, it was, it devastated families, even to
kidding.
today, because I know that Pennsylvania families, New Jersey families, New York families, all reach out with an eerie story of how their loved ones met their last days.
Look behind her. Look at this lady holding a picture, I'm assuming, of a loved one that she lost, right? Just let that sink in. So many people unnecessarily lost loved ones that they didn't even get to see in their final days because of the decisions made by these disgusting, corrupt bureaucrats who knew exactly what they were doing. I'm sorry for what you went through, ma'am. I mean, look at that. Jeez, guys.
And those that persisted in nursing homes with the lockdown afterwards, they were treated like zoo animals. You cannot see your family except through a glass door or through some electronic device. We have devastated our families because seniors are the center core of our families. My mom didn't get to meet her grandchildren or her great-grandchildren, and we're going to continue to stand for them because they are the center of our families, and I'm sure everyone feels the same, whatever state we are in.
I think that's such important information that you bring to us here today. One of the purposes of this select subcommittee is to gather information, to be proactive, to have that understanding when moving forward, and unfortunately we might face another pandemic, what appropriate steps need to be taken. Your information and the other panelists being present today allow us to formulate those opinions. I thank each and every one of you for participating here today. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield the remainder of my time.
All right, guys. I'm assuming you're probably commonsensical, level-headed people, and you would not have made the decision that these disgusting people in power made to send elderly people to their demise knowingly. Think about it. If there was a disease that unevenly affected young people, right, that was killing children, it would be no different than the governor mandating that if you have a child that is infected with this disease, you have to send them back to school, knowing that it would infect other children and kill them. Just think about that. And now they're going to claim that they didn't know. Yes, it was a mistake. Many mistakes were made, blah, 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 blah. So many of us were speaking out against this. So many of us were speaking out against the inefficacy of masks at mitigating community spread of airborne diseases. That was how I actually got, known on social media, because I used my background in the sciences to speak out against it. And let's not forget, Fauci in the beginning even said masks don't work. And before the pandemic, there's plenty of video of him saying that masks do not work. Think about it, guys. Think about how crooked and disgusting these people are and what they did to us. Do not forget this stuff, and we must continue to hold their feet to the fire. Let me know your thoughts down below. Love you guys. Keep your minds free.